Thank you for coming to my presentation today. This week, we're looking at two films heavily influenced by the Theseus and Minotaur myth. In one film, we can see the Minotaur represented by the lure of the unknown, and in the other, we see it represented by David Bowie's penis, I guess. I don't know. We watched Labyrinth and The Maze Runner.
Ah, the French champagne.
Champagne!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
Once they were men, now they are land crabs.
Amanda Bynes is a national treasure.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
Big Daddy lost his eagle.
I hope
So-
no one from my family listens to this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is...
Hey-o, hey, welcome back. Welcome to the pod. It's happening again. And we watched the movies together today.
We did.
We did. COVID-free, baby.
COVID free.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, yeah, we don't know, actually.
You know, Miranda has a bit of a sore throat today, so. Fuck. But I just had it. Like, it should be good.
Can you carry it if you just had it?
I don't know. Do I look like a scientist?
A little bit.
No, what?
Scientists take all shapes and forms, man.
They don't.
Jack, we've
You're
been the
being-
foremost COVID research podcast since we started.
Yeah, of the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is an anti
Mask.
mask podcast. It's called
Anti-Trudeau.
It's called Pod Mask.
It's called Citizen Kane versus Masks.
Masks. No, this is Citizen Kane Versus. It's a podcast where we take a movie that is considered to be more of a classic and we put it up against a similar in some way movie that is considered to be more on the schlocky side, and we ask ourselves honestly, which is better? My name is Jack Rennie, and I'm joined by my two friends, one
Sean Jacqueline.
and the second.
Daniel Benoit.
Oh, he was like, "Can I improvise?"
Yeah, I was gonna try. I was gonna try and make it some kind of Lance Armstrong joke because we like watched running movies. Although he's a cyclist, so that's why I panicked and didn't do it.
Yeah, I understand
no.
why. Yeah, that makes, when you explain it out, it really makes sense. Why you didn't say
Donovan
anything.
Bailey.
Donovan Bailey.
Done.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
Wow.
Well done.
Notorious first placer.
Yeah.
And we are continuing with our month of children's retro fantasy
Adventure films.
fantasy adventure films.
Yeah.
Mostly for young people, but
Young people.
enjoyable for any age, really.
Usually, yeah.
Mostly, generally. And so last week we had The Neverending Story versus Legend, which a friend of the pod, Griffin, actually sent me. We talked about the last episode, and then he sent me a photo. He was in a record store when he was visiting Toronto, and he found it was the record, like the album or whatever you call it, the
Neverending Story?
soundtrack. No, for Legend.
For Legend by Tangerine Dream.
If you say so. And it was like $80.
Yeah, that's
Really?
disgusting.
$80. I can't like whistle the tune from that fucking. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have no
Whistling
idea.
in the mics.
I have no idea what that movie sounded like.
No.
And this week this episode we are continuing with Labyrinth, another like a very much a sister of the era to Neverending Story. They feel very similar, versus something much more modern this time, which is The Maze Runner. The link being tight pants. What was the link again?
David Bowie, right?
Yeah, because he plays one of the grievers.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, in the Labyrinth. No, the Maze
The
Runner.
Maze Runner.
The Labyrinth Runner. Yeah.
Can you imagine Bowie was in The Maze Runner? It was like all these like teenage boys, and then just like a 60-year-old Bowie being like, "You guys,
run down the way. Come to me, my sweet baby.
If you run down the well, then you'll find the grievous down the way. And everyone's like, "This. We don't know why this guy got. He seems to be part of the punishment.
They've passed the trials.
We call him a singy."
What a silly film.
Oh God! So, these movies were. This is a fun double feature. Mm-hmm. This is like we talked about this. We've been doing pretty well with our like thematic matchings these days.
Totally.
We actually have been talking about how we need to get another episode that's like a stupid pairing again.
Yeah. Yes.
And this one, it's closer to that, and that.
It's a good balance. I think this week we found a sweet spot of stupid but on brand.
Brand? What
That's
brand?
the wrong way. No, our brand.
Coca-Cola. Our brand.
Our brand.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Bell Media.
Bell Media. No, it's the good balance between like thematic linkage and stupidity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they
I'm
have
proud of
labyrinths in them.
They both have labyrinths.
There you go. That's kind of it.
Yeah.
You
But-
came for the mazes and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, we got it. And we watched The Maze Runner first, which was
Yeah, I'm not sure if I regret my decision or
Yeah,
not.
in hindsight, you were definitely wrong. You thought that we should watch Labyrinth
all right.
last, and I think that was the wrong choice.
I think both Dan and I went semi-prone watching Labyrinth. We both like turned onto our side
Yeah.
with like 45 minutes left in like a
No.
like
Yeah. There was like a tangible layer of film over my eyes by the end of that movie. My brain just tuned it out.
All right.
but there's fun stuff
Totally.
in both.
Totally.
I have a feeling this is going to be a neat one.
A neat one?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're doing a neat little podcast
It's
here.
gonna be
Guys,
look, it's gonna be cute-
pretty neat. So
it's
if you
gonna
want to
be a
stick around,
cute
don't
little-
don't stop us. No, don't hit that. No, don't hit the stop button, guys. No.
No, we promise it'll be neat. Just keep listening, please. It's gonna be neat, guys.
It will be super
Beep,
neat.
beep.
Neat's good.
And that was the day Jack single-handedly brought down our podcast.
Just like on the epitaph on my tombstone, it's just
Yeah.
like Jack.
Yeah.
He was neat.
We call him the Ruiner.
He's we call him a downser because he brings us his downsies. It's a fucking movie. It's funny though. Okay, so to help you get a better understanding of what these movies are, let's cut to our totally not pre-recorded intros of the two movies.
In the red corner, representing the classics, a teenage girl who's fed up with her dad, stepmom, and most of all her baby stepbrother wishes for Jareth, the king of the goblins, to take her brother away. Immediately regretting this decision, she must wind her way through a mystical, magical, Muppet-based maze with the help of some puppet friends to rescue her brother and bring an end to Jareth's performance career. Coming in at 101 minutes, starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly, Labyrinth. And in the blue corner, representing the schlock, a teenage boy who's fed up with having memories wakes up in a fairly idyllic glade full of other teenage dudes, only to find out, twist, they're surrounded by an enormous labyrinth that, twist, is full of terrifying monsters, and twisty turn changes every night. Everything changes again when a girl shows up who, twist, also remembers nothing, but they have to find a way out. But twist, there isn't one, but double twist, there is, and they run there, only to find out, super twist. Stay tuned for part 2. Coming in at 113 minutes, starring Dylan O'Brien and Kaya Scodelario, The Maze Runner.
And now you know. Now you know. Now you know.
No excuse not to.
Now you know.
If you didn't know, now you know.
That's it.
Although you should have known. I assume by this point, all people listening to the podcast have done their homework, have
They're having
watched the movies.
watching parties and listening parties every week.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
see the thing that we release. They say, no, I'm going to wait
Yeah.
until I've done the appropriate work. I've watched both movies, told all my friends about
Taking notes.
taken extensive notes.
Well, they've been on our Twitter page and they've seen the post leading to the episode saying, "Hey, we're doing this." Like they heard the last episode too, and they heard us announce it, so they were like,
so they think, okay, wait, I gotta prep. I'm gonna call in sick to work.
Yep.
Make sure I'm ready.
"Yeah,
Yeah.
kids, get out of the room, kid, get out. I gotta watch these movies." And they're like, "But they're for kids," and they're like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And then they throw them in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sean, you've seen Labyrinth more.
Many times.
You grew up. You saw it as a child.
No, I just had a Bowie phase.
that tracks.
From like,
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue I'm still in my Bowie phase.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say.
I just know the Bowie songs that I like to listen to and the albums I like to put on now.
Yeah.
But I did go through a 4 or 5 year period where if Bowie was a part of it, I would watch or listen or eat it, you know.
Oh, Bowie-O's.
Bowie-O cereal, baby.
Best.
A little bit of LSD in your breakfast cereal.
Oh yeah.
That's cocaine. The milk is the cocaine.
Yeah.
Did he have a pretty extensive filmography in the 80s? Like, has he been in... I know he played Julius Caesar or something in a movie we watched one time, didn't he?
Yeah. Wasn't it Ben-Hur or something?
No.
No, that's too old.
It
No.
wasn't Ben-Hur.
But it was something like that where he was like.
Was it the Eagle? No, it wasn't the Eagle.
No, I don't think so.
But it might have been. Are
No.
you sure it was?
It was
No,
something in the 80s.
Oh, it was Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh yes.
Or the
Jesus
Last
of
The
Temptation.
William Dafoe.
The Last Temptation.
Oh,
Willem,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So, yeah, not the first time he's graced our screen. Yeah.
Is there like a soundtrack, like an album of the soundtrack for this movie?
Yes.
That's all I wanted to know. I need to know where to buy it.
Probably at the same record store that Griffin was at.
Yeah.
I'm sure I can find it on Amazon for half the price.
Jesus, you're not the Son of God. Jesus, no, turn away.
Not quite croonery enough.
Well, sorry, Sean. I'm not in my Bowie phase.
Yeah, it's fair.
Nor am I really planning to be in one. I'm a big fan, but not that much of a fan.
I don't know that I can even name a David Bowie song.
Yeah, I don't know that I can either.
What's his most popular one? Sean, go.
The entirety of Ziggy Stardust.
That's not helpful
Great
for
album.
me.
Yeah.
I don't name a
Diamond
single.
Dogs. Name a single.
Yeah, name a single.
Life on Mars.
Okay, that one that I might know.
You definitely heard. You have heard tens of
Is
David Bowie.
Major
For sure,
Tom.
but I don't
Let's
know.
Dance.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
Dance.
That's Bowie, eh?
That's early '80s Bowie.
What's the one he did? He did a duet with another.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, he did.
Or
what?
not Bohemian. Well, no. Sorry.
Dancing in the Street or something.
Oh,
or-
Dancing in the Streets. He did. Yeah. Under Pressure is what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
oh yeah,
Queen.
yeah. But
Oh,
was,
yeah, that's good.
Was it him and Mick Jagger that did Dancing in the Street?
Yeah, it's terrible.
The most like fucking
Well, it's a cover of a earlier song, but yeah,
right, but that's the one, right?
correct.
Where they like you're pretty sure they're gonna kiss the whole music video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty sad they don't actually.
No,
I know.
they probably did.
In real life,
Yeah.
1,000%.
They probably filmed it, but it ended up on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. No. I know.
Don't hold them back.
Yeah. Let's do it. You can't stop me. Let's do it. So let's start. We're doing it with our first round.
Wait, Jack, slow down.
What?
Wait.
No, we're doing it.
No, Jack.
Dan.
No.
Look. No, Dan.
Jack, we can't.
We can't stay here forever.
No, Jack.
Eventually, you've been here for how long? And what have you done? Huh? We got to get out of here.
Jack, I belong to the
I'm
maze.
not staying here with the Stasies. Those guys made their choice long ago. But I'm going with the Goners. That's my choice. Story, good. So that's gonna segue me into my first point, which is that the story of the Maze Runner is lacking, but the writing is the best. It becomes genuinely funny.
Yeah, it does. It truly does.
For those who haven't seen it, those stupid jokes that we're making are referencing the way they name things. They always have a, what's that? Oh, we call those the Trezos. It's just like everything, we call those blades. It's like, right, you mean the big blades?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it blades.
Yeah, the writing is pretty ridiculous. I wondered how much of that comes from the source material and how much of that is just the screenwriters putting their head up their own asses. But I will say, like, I didn't mind the writing in Maze Runner generally until the end, where it completely lost me, because I'm still very confused as to what the point.
You're confused as to why they experimented on a group of children conceivably from birth, and only to drop them in the middle of a labyrinth, of a maze.
Yeah.
In order to get stung and then kill a griever in order to be rewarded with an antidote for things so they can break free, and then they can
Save the world, baby. Stay
save
tuned
the
for
world?
part 2 and 3.
Yeah,
Right.
and also guns don't do what guns do.
guns.
Yeah, that woman shoots herself in the head.
Wow, it was a fake gun.
Yeah, that was planned.
But everybody else around her died, though.
I don't think they did.
No, but there was dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah,
They walked in and
but
there was-
afterwards.
What?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit like supposed to be a planned thing.
So those dead bodies weren't dead bodies.
Correct.
Well, they might have been dead bodies, but as Sean said, they might have been planted. Like, they might have made it, just filmed it like a scene.
Interesting.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the
Yeah,
plan was
it's-
to have them there for 3 years
Yeah.
and
And then traumatize them. repeatedly.
traumatize them. Yeah.
And then
Over the course of 3 days, give
Yeah.
them everything they need to escape,
yeah.
but only if one guy survives. They send like their Jesus.
Yeah, there were too many survivors. She
there
says.
was no. She said she
Well, she
wasn't.
says there's more survivors than they were expecting. But
Right.
read,
thought it
now
was-
we have more mouths to feed.
I thought it was dumb that they said it was like 3 days.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
seemed like a lot happened in 3 days.
I think that movie should take place over the course of like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Christ rose on the third day, so.
Oh.
Hey, baby.
Fuck, shut up.
It's all
Shit.
Jesus, baby. Everything is
God.
Star Wars and Jesus.
That's fair. Jesus is Lord.
Yeah. He is my savior and my friend, and he loves me. But so I've been told. But the yeah,
Jesus doesn't love you.
yeah, that's why I call him a savy. Okay, I can't do it anymore. But so this movie has the issue of being the first of 3 and being made knowing that, and not in a way that's like competent. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's not like a strong trilogy in that way. So they're trying to build lots of intrigue. It's a movie that's trying to raise more questions than it answers on purpose. And so you have a lot of these scenes where people, like, it'll be a slowly paced scene between 2 people, sometimes even 3. Like, 2 of them will be like, oh, so what does this mean? And the other one will be like, I don't know. What, does anyone here know? Nobody knows anything.
Yeah.
And then a third person will be like, what are you guys talking about? And they'll be like, we don't know. It's like, yo, that's not, why are we doing this?
Very
right?
bad writing.
And so the ending, yeah, it goes like, so I've seen the second one once,
Oh, so explain to us.
and it's very hazy, but my memory of it it's sort of like what they kind of imply at the end of this one, which is that like they're putting these young people through trials. One, because it seems to be that they are proving to be more resilient to the strife in the world.
Cool.
Part of that being like a virus that they're like
Yeah.
literally just more immune to.
But so was the idea that they are resilient to the virus because they died from the virus unless they were given the antidote that was developed by the people, by the lab technicians or whatever.
I know, but I think the implication is that that antidote was also somehow like created from studying them.
Okay.
The
They
point
took
is
the
that
bodies out and then poked around inside of them until they found a cure.
there something like that. I don't know, but maybe.
Okay.
But like it is dumb. It does not get any better. It's like they're trying to make them like more resilient and fight through obstacles so that they can save the world.
They also
kind of
don't
thing.
make you care in any way, shape, or form for really any of them, except Chuck maybe, just because he's a small boy and can't run good.
Yeah.
But he can run
But
good.
he can run
He
good.
keeps
I
up with
forgot.
them, but he also can't act, and that's tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no. I think that he had a pretty heartfelt death scene, which is hard
Yeah.
to do.
You mean where he was just like lying there being like, bye-bye now.
He did have that one line that was like, dude, like, oh, you're going to make it. He was like, come on.
Did he have that line, or did
No,
we,
but
did
like
we
that was,
say that?
we said it, but that was
Right.
definitely the intention.
Oh, right, yeah.
So yeah, it's really weird in that regard, and also like even roughly when they like you get the info dump at the end, and they're like the world has been scorched, and
Ugh.
they immediately like go out to like a city that's like torn down. But I'm like, so you wasted a bunch of resources,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
And,
like,
like,
years probably building that thing.
years building it,
Yeah.
years executing it, resources, power, structural shit that you need, as well as like
You developed an
trees.
entire cybernetic organism. It's like it's an entire
Yeah,
species.
like an incredibly advanced, yeah.
Yeah. but it does make you wonder, if they can do that, why can't they just like rebuild
correct.
society?
Now, sometimes there aren't enough kids to experiment on in order to rebuild society. They have to choose what they do with the kids they can experiment on.
I
Yeah,
think
but
it mostly has to do with the virus.
Yeah.
right.
I think the virus is the key thing. It's like this place has the resources and ability to like, which is like bullshit. Like in an apocalypse, like who the fuck is like
I'm guessing
fucking laying concrete?
by the end of the third book, they discover that the cure they're trying to make is actually a mind control virus that reverses the effects of the plague, but makes everyone completely subservient to the central state.
We should watch the third
Just
one.
barrel through them.
No, skip the second one. And
Just watch the third one.
I'm actually very excited to watch the rest of the series. I really enjoyed The Maze Runner.
I also find it fun.
Yeah, I had a really
There were
good
fun
time.
parts.
Yeah.
I hated the ending. Made me hate that
The,
film.
the ending
so
was
Oh, yeah.
the ending was
Yeah.
a big steamy dump, expositionally speaking.
Yeah. Which
But-
leads us to the bog.
right. Oh yeah, good segue.
Thanks, bud.
Ooh, juicy segue.
Listen back. I've had a few.
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
I never listen back.
Okay.
I edit this thing and I have no idea what's in it. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Labyrinth, which is very heavy on story. I think quite.
Yeah.
We had
Very
to
heavy
dig-
on plot. Very heavy on plot.
Very
I
heavy
would
on
say.
plot. Very relevant and timely. I think it starts a lot of conversations about mental health issues in the youth of our society.
Right.
That's all I got. The movie's definitely about a girl's psychotic break, right? Like that's
It's about a
You
girl
think every
letting go
movie
of
is
her
about that.
childhood.
no, but it's not, because in the end she's embracing the delusions of her
No.
of her
Well, this
imaginary
is 2 weeks in a
friends.
row now, man.
But that's the truth. It ends with her in a room full of imaginary
Because they
friends.
say anytime that you need us, we'll be here. But she understands it's time. It's time she faces
Guys,
things
it-
on her own.
It ends with her seeing hallucinations in the mirror.
It ends with a party with all her friends.
guys.
Dan, you're
Guys,
telling me
it's
that
not-
you
it's
don't
not-
turn
it
to
isn't-
your friends when you need them? Like,
It isn't my fault that 2 weeks
Like,
in a row we have
Gorbler,
watched
tell
movies that definitely end with kids who are detached from reality.
just I'm trying to hear
I
from
know you're doing a bit. Okay, go
They're
ahead.
children.
She is not a child. The fucking dude from Neverending Story was for sure a kid. He was like
Yeah.
4. But she's like 14, 15.
Yeah.
She's
Loss
an-
of innocence,
and
bro.
His journey was to discover that his fantasies can help him in life at the stage of life he's at, and her journey is to realize that fantasies aren't going to help her in the real world right now, but they are there when she needs them.
Okay, both movies finish with them instead of dealing with real world issues, they get locked into their fantasies.
I'm sorry. This movie is about a young woman saving her baby stepbrother, from a very human Goblin King who likes singing and dancing. I don't know what you're talking about.
He does. Does he like singing and dancing?
It doesn't seem like he likes it. You're right.
It seems like he's really miserable the whole
I
time.
hate singing and dancing.
Who very resentfully
But he does love playing with balls.
He does.
he does.
He twirls those balls. Three balls sometimes.
He fondles balls through this entire movie.
Through
The ball
entire-
fondling in Labyrinth is some of the best you'll see in a movie.
You can see his balls too.
It actually is. You can.
Yeah.
Pretty clearly.
Pretty much in every
I know
scene.
exactly what David Bowie's penis looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Or looked like.
I warned you.
Rest in peace. Or not. I don't
Yeah.
know. He's probably having a very unpeaceful rest.
I think it's just as peaceful as everyone else's rest. Awkward silence.
Jesus doesn't love you.
But so Labyrinth, no, it doesn't really have a great story. Its storytelling method is that like, it's like the charm of that certain era where it's like this and then this and then this and
Yeah.
then this. Like things don't lead to the next thing.
No, it
More or less?
does borrow from that, the Iliad, the Odyssey, where like the hero
Yeah.
it hits adventure after adventure on the way to their ultimate goal, kind of thing.
But
Very
even how we
classical.
get into the adventure is very vague and confusing.
he like breaks down the liminal reality between his world and hers, and then just like drops her in the middle of the desert outside the labyrinth.
Yeah. And never once is she like, this is weird.
Because it's her imagination.
I know, because she is having a psychotic break.
She's running away from her problems.
And she never comes back.
She does. She
No.
faces her problems head on. It's the climax of the film.
I don't know. She does. She does the hero's journey thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ding ding.
Yeah, get that resonance.
Yeah, girl.
All right, well, let's take a break there. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
And we're back. I hope you enjoyed those ads for Toyota cars from Japan. Definitely in Japanese.
Oh, right. That's the one you get.
Literally, like, almost exclusively at this point.
Weird.
I don't understand why. Where do you guys listen back to the episodes? Apple Podcast? Google?
Spotify?
Okay, so do I. So what are your ads?
I don't know. I haven't listened lately, so I don't
I
know.
wonder if it's like an algorithm thing. If I like search something on YouTube, that
Probably
made
the
them think-
hentai you're watching.
You gotta slow down on the hentai,
Yeah.
Dan.
Or don't.
This doesn't seem like the appropriate channel for you guys to be shaming me about my kinks.
If Daniel's parents are listening, please have an intervention about his obsequious hentai usage.
Yeah.
And no, I don't fully know what that word means.
It's fine.
I think you mean ubiquitous.
Yeah. Well,
Ubiquitous.
Lascivious is the word.
oh,
you're looking for.
yeah, that could
Yeah,
work.
that one
Yeah.
work.
I'm not sure what that word means actually.
All right.
It just sounds intelligent.
It's and it doesn't matter.
David Bowie was lascivious in this movie.
Yeah, he was.
So it has something to do with liking children?
Sure,
Oh,
it can.
that's a theme we didn't explore in the story episode. We really didn't dive into
At
the
all.
story of
Yeah.
Labyrinth too much.
I gave a rundown of it. I said what it was.
Yep.
You did say what it was.
And we tackled the main plot
It-
line.
it
main
is
story.
important to know, though, that he definitely seems to be in love with a teenager and also maybe wants
Yeah.
to marry a baby
Correct.
and use it as a basketball.
Marry a baby. He doesn't want to marry the baby. He wants to turn the baby into one of his goblin children.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. At
Which is
at
weird because he
13
seems
o'clock.
to hate all of them.
He does. But it's the realm that he's left in charge of. He's the Goblin King. Times are tough. You gotta, as a Goblin King, you gotta look after your people, and he's clearly looking after his people. They're clearly well off.
Their
in
town seemed
comparison.
pretty good.
Yeah. So, maybe
Wait,
he's
they're the villains. They destroy their town.
yeah.
They come in. They march through their poop bog.
Mhm.
They destroy their town. They mess with their dump outside the city walls. Like, it's rude.
Yep. Lock him in chains. Is all I'm saying.
Okay, great. Well, so there, we settled it. So going into our second round, which is a production good? Bing bang.
I would say a resounding yes on both fronts.
Yeah.
There was I did not expect the production to be of such high quality in Maze Runner. There was only a couple of times where the CGI was abhorrent, but otherwise it looked not necessarily
Looked
totally
fine.
real, but it looked quite good.
Yeah.
I would say it looked good.
Looked quite good.
Looked good.
There was a couple of times where we collectively commented on the quality of the soundscape and the Foley.
Yeah, that's true. That was good.
Like they clearly made some big sets to work in. They, you know what I mean? Like they made shit.
They erected thatch huts.
They erected thatch huts. They built a vine wall.
Yeah.
They built the grieva that was crushed in the wall. They built that was a real thing they built. That was pretty cool. That takes time. Takes time and effort.
does.
And it was executed well. It took time and efforts.
I did want something a little more interesting out of the Grievers. I mean, like the
generic monster.
generic
Yeah.
monster. I thought it was going to be a zombie movie at first, which I would have been into.
I would have. Maybe this is story, but they don't really use the maze. There are a couple sequences wherein the maze is there and it affects what they're doing, but there's no real time spent like using the maze and navigating the maze.
I bet that must be a big difference between book and movie. I bet you the book has more maze stuff in it, but it's
Yeah.
harder and more expensive to film, so
Sure.
they reduced it.
Yeah.
Is my guess, or maybe not. Like I don't know. It's supposed to just be this mystery.
Yeah.
That is a good point, though. And same thing. Yeah, I would agree with the Grievers as well. Like in terms of the sort of a story issue again, but like if it's about making these young people prove that they are fighters, like what's the point though of like opening the walls and sending in a dozen of these killbots to like they can't fight them.
Yeah.
Like what's the point
I
of
didn't
that?
really understand if that was some kind of punishment because they had gone too far, or if it was just increasing the difficulty of the test because they had reached a certain point. That's probably what it was supposed to be, I'm guessing.
I guess.
I don't know.
But it looked good.
The CGI of the Grievers still looks not bad.
Yeah.
It's there and it's a freaky design.
It is a scary sequence, that first one where they're running away from them. It does get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when they attack the fucking thing at night, that's
It's pretty
scary.
crazy.
If I saw this as a kid, I would have been horrified.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is definitely not a kids movie.
No, it's like
No,
the
it's-
teen.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a teen thing. I agree though. When we first meet the Griever, when Mino,
Mina, I think.
Mina,
I think it was Mina.
I have no
when the
They don't
runner and
speak
Thomas are in the maze and
Yeah.
and Thomas is running from the Griever, it's like
Yeah.
an adrenaline fueled fucking scene.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Well paced.
Yeah, but also Labyrinth.
You got that Jim Henson touch
I mean, definitely the point of this movie was
to let him do whatever he wants.
exactly.
It doesn't become a movie until we see all the goblins hiding and waiting for her to say the phrase, and it keeps cutting to them, and everything they do is like full of wonder and joy.
Yeah.
And then everything she's doing sucks.
Yes.
So, does she mention the Goblin King in the book she's reading before we get to the scene with the baby? Or does that just kind of come out of
I don't
nowhere?
know if she meant when she's reading it. We can see her. Oh, and is that what she's reading from in the park before?
Yeah. Because I would say this movie could also be interpreted as a story about a girl who's trying to learn a monologue and is struggling
And does.
to remember her last line.
I bet she does remember it.
And that saves the day.
Correct.
That's just the actor at work. Like that's just what
Yeah.
you got to do to learn your lines.
Yeah, you have to go through an entire journey.
Psychotic break. I mean, sorry, yeah, journaling. But I think this movie honestly is a bit negatively affected by its Jim Henson fetish. Like it's too much and it's unfocused.
Yeah.
It is-
1,000%. Yeah.
It's truly charming, most of it, not all of it.
Yeah.
But most of it has that like, damn, like just nailing it, like the stone faces being like, go back.
Oh, with the
Oh
hands.
wait, the heads.
Oh, the heads.
And
Yeah.
that
The
are part of
hands were
walls.
really cool.
The hands were awesome.
The hands were a really, really interesting
That was,
concept.
It was just great,
Yeah.
simple and well executed. but like ultimately completely pointless.
Yeah.
Well,
Which you can have bits of that, like
Lot
an
of
Alice in Wonderland type.
Yeah, I did find myself wondering where the physical set on the big wide shots of her like overhead, where the physical set they built ended and where the wall started that they painted. I couldn't tell for the life of me.
Yeah.
All of the practical stuff they did in the movie was executed extremely well, except for the Rasta goblins in the forest.
Oh
The
god.
very racially sensitive scene in the forest.
Yeah.
In the CG forest for some reason.
With
that
the
whole-
music you can't understand or enjoy.
I guess
Yeah.
it's because they had to film the puppets separately and then superimpose it
'Cause
over
they only
the
had
top
two
of the
or something.
background.
Well, I think it was
Yeah.
because there's so much stuff with the heads flying on and
Yeah.
off, and then there was probably a lot of people in green suits throwing the heads around, right? So I think it had to all be kind of green screen. That was my theory. Anyway,
I don't think it's even green screen at that point. I think it's computer editing and cutting things out and trying to. It's the same. It's Lucasfilm, so it's the same as like Return of the Jedi. You can see that they need like the black line. They leave the black line around the things that they're editing. You can kind of pick it out. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. It looked terrible.
It looks really bad.
It looks really, really bad. And while we're talking about bad stuff in Labyrinth, we should probably touch on just everything sound. Right?
Yeah.
Because the music is when you can understand it, it's
Yeah.
weird. And most of the time you can't understand it.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
It's not good. I know that magic dance thing sits
Oh, it's a bad song.
in, but some people adore it because they.
Oh, sure.
But I don't think they adore it more than they
Power
just
of
like
the Babe.
recognize that it's a memory that they have, and so it feels good.
Sure.
But there's no
But it's bad.
There's no need for the songs. That's my biggest issue with it, is that it's not a musical movie. The songs don't add anything.
No.
It kind of felt like they were trying to make a movie and make a bunch of music videos to play on MTV.
Like the masquerade scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it does the cinematography takes a drastic shift every time there's a song that comes in. They start filming things a lot more like quick paced and there are more extras all of a sudden involved with things and
Yeah.
Like it just feels like the pitch to the movie producer was like, well, we have Bowie attached.
yeah.
And he's going to write some songs for it. And then we have Jim Henson and he's going to do his thing. And that's literally what happened. It's like those two
We've
sentences.
got Bowie, he's attached, and he's agreed he's going to wake up from his Coke binges at 4 p.m. every day, and he's going to spend like an hour writing songs, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he will technically say words in the movie. Like, legally speaking, he has fulfilled his contract. So the sound is rough. The sound of Maze Runner had its issues too, like how much we couldn't understand what people were saying. Mm-hmm. But that might be more of an acting thing, or I don't know how much.
I think it is an acting thing, but I also think that compared to Labyrinth, Maze Runner was Shakespeare in terms of intelligibility.
Correct. And like
Sure.
just general sound production, yeah.
Yeah.
But like again, it's tough though because again, Maze Runner is really well executed. It's pretty clean. You know what I mean? Like they don't
a lot better than I was expecting.
Clean,
Right?
Yeah.
clean, but like I would say
a bit soulless.
my main critique of Maze Runner is there is no imagination at work.
Yeah.
There is a clean, direct execution of what is on the page. And
Yep.
the page is pretty milquetoast and
Yep.
boring generally.
Yeah.
Except when it's a chase scene, you know?
I don't know that I entirely agree with you. I think there was some. I mean, like, yes, there was a couple of good chase scenes, but I was pretty in for the duration of the movie until the third act. I mean,
Yeah.
so then it's not.
It
it's
achieved
not
movie.
boring.
I think what I'm saying
milquetoast.
is like it achieved movie, and the production isn't necessarily like to me the leading factor of it achieving movie. It is just it helps for sure.
In terms of like breads,
Yeah.
this is like it's a white bread.
Yeah.
That like it tastes good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Until
like
you get to the final loaf and you realize it's been moldy the whole time. The final
like
slice.
a little
Ugh.
bit of that,
in this analogy, how many loaves of bread are you eating?
6 to 8 a day, as the Canada Food Pyramid tells me I should.
There you go.
But yeah, that's the problem. But then Labyrinth is like a piece that like hardly has any bread center. It's like a lot of crust and seeds.
It's like the
built
bread
into
they
it.
would give you
Caraway bread.
in like a medieval dungeon.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you're like, why is this
You got to soften
all-
it up in some gruel.
This is
Yeah.
all accoutrement.
Just let it sit in your mouth for 20 minutes.
It's all bread accentuators, but there's like hardly any bread in this. I was hoping for a bit more bread in my bread. And like, nah, seeds, nuts, berries.
Berries.
Berries in your bread. It's
Mildly
just-
racist berries.
So yeah, the puppet work and stuff is great.
Racist berries.
Lugo? Lubo?
Ludo.
Ludo. Shit.
Ludo.
Ludo, so cool.
Wonderful
Not a
puppet.
puppet though. Ludo
It's a
was
guy in a suit, but
yeah.
like,
Technically a puppet.
yeah.
Is a guy in a suit a puppet? How is
Yeah.
that technically a
Is
puppet?
Big Bird a puppet?
I don't know. Is Big Bird a
Yeah,
puppet?
it's just a different size of puppet.
Because there is like something operating its mouth independent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's a puppet. Yeah, you're right.
Like, there are puppets that are
My
like
bad.
multiple stories tall. There's that famous company that does those giant puppet
Yeah.
things. You know, so all anyway. But
Is Batman a puppet then? Yeah. Puppet of the state.
puppet. So anyway, but I thought, but yeah, I generally like the look and everything of Labyrinth. Like I enjoyed the movie on the production level, and I thought the production was the only thing visually keeping my interest.
Well, it was what the
Labyrinth.
entire movie was about, right? Like it didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't seem to give a shit except look at the cool things that we made.
Yeah.
And it seems like half of them were stuff that like they had been working on in their
The Escher scene was
developing
pretty
in their
cool.
shop ahead of time, and they were
Yeah.
like, I got this little like caterpillar.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we can have him. What does he do?
That worm was dope. I will
Yeah.
say.
Is it time?
In 1 second.
Bing, ving.
Bing sting.
All right, that takes us into our third and final round now, which is acting. Good? Is it good?
Well.
Let's dance. So, it's weird when the rocks were the best actors. Like the rock faces in the walls were like some of the best actors.
All the puppets, anyone doing voices for the puppets
Yeah.
and like the puppeteers themselves. Yeah.
And maybe that's intentional. They were like, don't act so good. It makes the puppets look like
Right.
better, like makes them look more real. But I don't think it was.
No.
Connolly's not good.
Connolly's young. This is maybe what her first big movie. I'm
Probably.
guessing.
Yeah, but young people can act well.
I mean,
Yeah.
Maze Runner.
What's that?
Maze Runner. I don't know.
There's some good acting happening in Maze Runner.
I mean, they are generally playing the scene.
what I found
The writing, like this, like the crafting of the scenes is dumb, but people are doing
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yes. What I found really disappointing was the performance of the only woman in the movie.
Because of all the stuff she had to do as well.
Well, she was just really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I would hope that as kind of like
In Maze Runner.
in
Yeah.
Maze Runner.
Right.
Yeah. And as like a late addition plot twist type, character in the movie, I wanted her to add something more than she did.
I have a sneaky feeling, and I don't know why this actor is coming to mind, but I think the producers were looking for a Kristen Stewart type. I don't know why that actor. Maybe there was something else out at the time that was pretty massively popular and people enjoyed having a blank slate actor they could impose themselves onto.
On the Road.
I think it was On the Road.
Yeah.
Is that the movie about her like fucking dudes as they drive around?
It's based on the Jack Kerouac. It's just like a bunch of postmodernists going across America in their truck.
Right.
And they bang.
Doing
They do
drugs.
bang a bunch.
They do bang a bunch.
They do
yes.
bang a bunch.
But it's boring. The book is terrible.
Did you watch the movie?
No.
I didn't.
That's all I know about it, though.
Yeah, I just know that it has a lot of sex in it.
Right.
But okay, but if that is the case, they don't even give the character enough opportunity for the audience to like impose their views of themselves on her.
No, I was saying she doesn't do anything.
No,
Yeah. It's not great.
no, it's not great at all. But I thought generally the actors in Maze Runner are doing a fine job. I thought this is gonna sound terrible, but the only other woman in the movie, the
The leader of the
Patricia
experiment.
Heaton.
yeah, Is that her name?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, her one day of filming was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. it just felt like, I don't know, cold and shoehorned,
Yes,
right?
absolutely was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a movie that is not trying to be nuanced. Right? It's trying to like hit broad strokes,
Yeah.
being like she is a generic, cold, lifeless military science type.
Right.
What's
is
the main guy?
Sorry?
Who's the
Thomas?
main- Yeah, was the actor?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't seen him in anything else.
All right,
He had a
looking it
tough
up.
time. He like almost broke his back.
Ooh.
Filming this movie?
Filming, I think, the third movie.
Oh no.
And
So the
they
trilogy hangs on to the same cast throughout?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the
That's why they
third
killed
movie
Chuck.
was postponed a lot, and then I think it affected him after that.
Oof.
He
Oh,
really-
because he did fucking fall and like hurt himself, and they had to wait for.
oh yeah, I'm saying like he
Ugh.
like nearly broke his back.
Ugh.
That's so strange though, because usually film sets are like among the safest places to be in the world.
Yeah, such high standards. they
Yeah,
have.
safety protocols are really strict on film sets
Yeah.
most of the time.
Dan, are you doing a bit?
Yeah, I'm doing a bit, guys. I'm
Damn.
just kidding.
Patricia
Films-
Clarkson, my bad.
What's his name?
Patricia Clark. No, the woman is
Oh.
Dylan O'Brien.
Oh
Is
yeah,
this
What
fella's
else has
name.
he done?
He has done
Not too much. He was in a-
the internship.
I don't know what that is.
That's the Wilson. Isn't that the Wilson brothers work at Google? No, it's Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn work at Google. I think is
Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn work at Google.
correct.
Oh God,
That sounds
He's
bad.
the voice
we
of
should do that
Bumblebee.
versus the Wedding Crashers.
Voice of Bumblebee.
Yeah, we should do that.
Flashback. I don't recognize
You
any of these
know-
films.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
much. This was
that-
kind of it.
The other guy though, Golly.
Gale.
No,
The Bully.
the bully. He's had quite a career
Yeah.
after
Has he?
this, right?
Oh, yeah,
I
he's
think-
done a bunch of
playing-
stuff.
Playing only that kind of person.
I don't know. I think he's
No,
done quite a few things.
He's in We're the Millers, and
He is.
and he's actually very strong comedically, and so he's kind of like more like a boo, like
Right.
Yeah, he's
Like,
he's
what's
a really
going
good
on?
actor. He's also in the Black Mirror interactive movie that was released on Netflix a couple of years back.
oh
Okay.
yeah, I never saw that, but that's right, I did see
Yeah.
his face there.
It was-
he's done a number of things. He's
Yeah.
actually he's strong.
He's joining the MCU soon as well.
As
Someone, Alex Warlock. I have no idea who the
Oh, he's
character is.
Warlock.
Ah, you-
Psylocke.
no, not
Kind of
Psylocke.
thing?
Psylocke is a woman.
You got Jojen in there.
Yep.
Who's Jojen?
Jojen Reed from Game of Thrones. Dun,
British
dun.
guy.
You know, you were whistling earlier.
Yeah, I still have no idea who he was in
He's
Game of
Jojen.
Thrones.
He goes
He's
north
the little
with
drummer
Bran.
boy from Love Actually.
Him and his sister.
That doesn't help me.
Him and his
Oh.
sister go north with Bran to find the crow and the three-eyed
Oh, that
raven.
kind of rings a bell.
And he gets eaten by zombies.
I thought he was great, although like we talked about, it made zero sense to me that after Albie died, he became the leader of
Edward Albee.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but his character would like the certain story points of an all teen boy society
Mm-hmm.
just didn't make sense in this movie. Like the smallest one being the leader, or the lack of
They developed a very
of man on man sex.
nuanced democracy over the 3 years that they.
Yeah,
Had
but I
been
don't
there.
think that's how that would play out.
Maybe he's a fucking
I think a
baller.
lot of them
maybe,
would kill each other.
Maybe he like throws down and none of them are.
He often had a knife on his back when
It's
most
true.
people didn't. Maybe he fucking
I
cuts
think he's a
people.
little fucking psycho.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
yeah,
in
maybe.
the sack too.
Oh no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are we back to twirling balls? Is that-
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Which would definitely be happening all the time in an all male society. So let's just
Oh,
be
yeah.
clear. What was that about?
It's true.
Why was there no-
I mean, if that book was written now instead of 15 years ago, there probably would be romance in there.
I don't know if it's romance. I don't think it's a romantic thing.
right. It's more a platonic, like
It's
this
more
needs to happen thing.
we're all
or-
guys and we all need to.
Like a dominance thing.
I imagine it's like a prison thing. Or maybe it is a dominance thing in prison as well, but it's also like guys need to, you know,
Whoa.
No, Daniel, I don't know. No, say it.
they need to ejaculate.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I see.
That's where they kept that one heavily wooded space of the. That's what it's for.
Don't go in that woods.
That was the love shack. You're not allowed in here.
Don't go in the woods. Yeah.
So
Don't go in the woods.
anyway, so but like the ensemble is generally fine. There's not like much special for him to do. I find Dylan O'Brien Thomas. He just does a lot of like a really generic actor thing. And just like, which again is partly just like how the scenes are written and done, but it's just like him kind of doing that like quivering eyelid acting of like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't like the writing doesn't help, but he also doesn't help us give a shit about anyone in the film. No one is actually someone. Maybe Jojen, maybe him. I was like, you are doing a character with responses to things that I can see, and it's kind of interesting. And everyone else was just kind of like existing vaguely and saying words in a row, and I didn't care about any of them.
Gale or whatever this guy's name was like the only
Galley.
person who actually
Galley.
whatever who actually felt like a different individual.
He had a reason to do things, but that reason was dumb.
Yeah, it was also
Yeah.
so dumb. But they were like, Thomas, you're different, and I wanted to be like, fucking how?
Yeah.
Everyone here is the same with the same fucking Henley cut waffle shirt and cargo pants. Like, what makes this guy any different? He's the exact same dude.
Should we talk about Labyrinth in a little more detail? We got to
Some
talk
more
about
nuance.
Bowie, right?
About who?
About Bowie?
Bowie, yeah.
David?
He's
Sir
pretty
David?
bad in this film.
He's not good.
Yeah.
Also not
I
good.
didn't think he was terrible.
He has moments.
He
Sure.
has like, I mean, he doesn't speak a lot,
No.
so
He's mostly I think a lot of the issue is they didn't have anyone directing the musical numbers in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like sing the songs in your groups and sway to the music and like David dance among them. Action.
yeah.
Uh,
certainly
that
did
does
seem
kind of
to be the
sound like
case.
it, eh?
yeah.
It also confused me as to why they didn't bother having the puppets sound good. Because they'll have
in the
weird
songs?
goblin voices.
Yeah,
it
it's
actually
impossible to
becomes
hear.
hard. Well,
Yeah.
well, it's impossible to understand, but it's also hard to listen to because it doesn't sound good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like a Muppets-esque thing. Where someone goes, and I get to the weather, why?
Yeah.
Like it's, they
Yeah,
kind
I
of,
guess so.
they do that kind of vibe. I know, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
I know, like in terms of sounding good, it doesn't have to be like clean voices, but it just should like not sound like a mess.
But I feel like maybe they shouldn't all be like garbled and gargly.
That's what I'm trying to
voices,
say.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, clean it up. Make their singing
Clean it
voice a little
up.
cleaner.
Yeah.
I actually thought like in terms of puppetry and delivery that like Hoggle,
I was just gonna say, yeah.
Hoggle is
Hoggle
like
is really
the performance of the movie. Weirdly enough,
Yeah.
and kind of this and Sir Dog Fox Mouse guy.
Oh yeah, Sir Didymus, I think.
I don't know. Only
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I have literally like no recollection of
And
him in
his
the movie,
trusty steed Ambrosius,
which was just her dog, right?
the dog, which
Her-
was sometimes
it
a
was-
puppet and
it was-
sometimes a real dog.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that was funny because the colors were totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was like the puppet dog.
Shivered.
Yeah, it was the shiver was really cute.
It was really cute.
But I think it's Hoggle who actually goes through like an arc in this movie
Mm-hmm.
more than
Yeah.
anyone else.
Yeah,
It's kind of
he has the
Hoggle's
most
movie,
story. Absolutely. Yeah, I thought he was great.
which would be a movie. This is what they should do. Is my pitch in the last 5 seconds. Make a movie that starts with the puppet world and it's them interacting with the human world, and it's like Labyrinth from the other side.
What?
It's like someone's coming
Monsters,
into your,
Inc.
someone's coming into your
Yeah.
puppet world to like learn something about themselves and save their innocence.
Right.
Meanwhile, Hoggle like has bills to pay. I guess that's Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Is that what Monsters Inc. is about?
Well, they go into the human world.
Right, but what Jack is talking about is following the story of one of the like peripheral characters in a human story. Is that what Monsters Inc. is about? Like, is that?
Because yeah, I'm saying more of that. I'm saying it's like as though it's like a world. It's like a Jim Henson world,
Ah.
and then it's like you see like 30 minutes or like 20 minutes of Hoggle life, doing stuff, sorting things out with the missus.
And then someone drops.
And
the
then someone
news.
like comes by being like, I need, like a real person is like, I
Yeah.
need to get to the castle. And he's like, I don't have time. You fucking ask the right question.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, not Monsters Inc. Then no.
And then maybe there's like multiple people. And he's like, oh God, another person, how many children were kidnapped?
You wanted to buy the house on the Magic Lane. That was your idea, and now we're living with it.
And it's like a serious drama. It's like Kramer versus Kramer.
It's just the
It's
marriage
Hoggle
story.
versus Hoggle.
They're hitting each other in the middle of arguments. It's nasty, horrible, like relationship stuff.
I'm not saying I fell out of love with you. I'm saying I think I've realized I was never in love with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying
I'll
to
see the
leave, but I
Goblin
can't
King.
find the door.
It's just like puppets. That's the kind of the movie that I want.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just described, but I want that.
Okay.
And with that, let's take our second break. We'll see you in a minute or two.
Butt sex. How are we doing today?
Sorry, are you calling one of us butt sex?
I'm looking at you, aren't I?
Butt sex here. We're doing just fine.
Yeah, when we get lonely, we go into those woods together.
Don't go into the woods.
We call that butt sex.
Wait. Why
no,
do you call? Wait.
No, wait. Is that a special term? Oh no.
No.
Special enough as it is. No need for clever lingo here. We call that butt sex.
And that's how you bring back a pod. You're welcome.
That's pretty good.
So, let's rate these movies, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do it.
You know?
Yeah.
So story. Here are my thoughts on story.
Okay.
I think the story in Labyrinth is weak, as I've talked about. It does not have a good continuation of ideas, right? It does
Yes.
not have the this, therefore this, but this kind of storytelling that I enjoy. It's this and then this and then this.
Sure.
That being said, Maze Runner is actually pretty similar in that regard.
Yeah.
And it does an and then this into stuff that you're like, what? And it's like,
it ends
like-
with and then this.
like stay tuned, which is annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like what they did tell you is like annoying.
Yeah.
So, because like the writing and the storytelling in Maze Runner, even though I like the core concepts that's introduced, I think it's a fun premise. I like the premise. We talk about premise as a part of story.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think the
Big part of
writing
story.
and that twist at the end are the things like holding the movie back the most from being actually like a pretty cool movie.
Yeah. I would agree.
And I think that's the thing that's tipping it for me to put Labyrinth in front.
Oh, 100%. Labyrinth, while it does have the and then.
I think.
What?
You're 100% correct in your analysis, but in the end of the day, Labyrinth does have a beginning, middle, and end.
I don't. It kind of does.
It does.
That's not. I
It
don't want to.
resolves.
I'm not quite agreeing with
It
that.
resolves.
Yes, the movie does end. It bookends, but
And we have characters that have journeys that resolve in
Does
them
it-
making changes in themselves.
To
I
say
don't
that
know.
it has
It does.
To say that it has a beginning, middle, and end.
It sure does.
No, I mean it has a middle in that things happen between the beginning and end of the movie.
Yeah.
it has
But
a
it's not-
thing at the beginning and a thing at the end and stuff between.
It has a beginning where we are it follows the never ending story structure, I would say pretty well.
Yeah, technically, like
don't
it
know.
technically does.
Maze Runner. I mean, Maze Runner has a beginning and a middle, and an
Ending.
ending.
But it gives us things in a beginning and a middle, yes, and promises something and then doesn't deliver on any of the promises whatsoever.
Yeah, what's the franchise issue?
Yeah.
Right? Where it's saying stay tuned.
But we're looking
right?
at this movie. We're looking at these movies.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it gives you a bit. It just says it. Well, no, it's vague.
But-
It says
but-
you're special.
But in terms of story, there is much more of an arc in Maze Runner than there
What do you
is in. I mean, there is a building of the plot from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie,
There is
but that is not at all present in Labyrinth.
there is a revealing of clues in an order that ends in nothing.
It doesn't end in. It ends in a loose explanation, but it's not like.
Nothing.
But it's no. It's not nothing. It's not nothing.
It's literally nothing.
It's not
and
nothing.
nothing
No,
they see.
no,
the nothing
no,
that they see turns
no.
out to be nothing because it was fake.
No, I know
There
what
is
you're
some
saying,
attempt
though.
at an explanation, but it is still more substantial than any story points in Labyrinth.
Yeah, no, Dan, I think I know what you're saying because I agree with this too, actually, which is that Labyrinth, for all of its like fun flair and gimmicks, is kind of flat. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Maze Runner actually has like exciting changes in tone and in like quality. So you have what's going on to this reveal. You have him going in and they survive the night, and then they've killed one and they go back and now it's dark, and it has a variety, and there's shit that goes on. It doesn't take you to a place that you like.
Yeah, it has a varying energy that makes you respond differently to things.
Yeah.
I agree
which
with
makes
that.
the story
That's not-
more engaging, which makes it a better story.
No.
Are you guys kidding me?
That's not. I don't know if I
You've
fully
got to
agree
be
with
kidding.
that. It
The-
compensates for its lack
Labyrinth
of
is
story
almost
well
entirely
with a
devoid of story.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
It's not devoid of story.
There-
It's just
A girl has to go to the magical land of Goblintopia or whatever.
And that's
to
where it
retrieve her-
ends. And then we
yeah,
watch a
and
girl.
then etc. randomness for an hour 10.
Yes.
Totally. She wanders through the labyrinth. The tests should have been strong. They should be stronger tests of. It should be set up a little more clear as to what like her ultimate transformation needs to be for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm just saying, I think both of the stories are weak this week. I think both movies are held back by different aspects of storytelling. I
Sure.
just think the Maze Runner comes out looking a bit worse because of the ending and because of
Okay.
general, like for me, I'm including the writing in this as just abysmal. Not that the writing is great, but at least the writing is like playful, or like at least.
Yeah.
But you know,
I'm going labyrinth.
it's close. I mean, you could maybe convince me, but
I think that just because the ending is bad, that doesn't disqualify the rest of the movie.
But it makes the story pointless.
no, I agree with that too.
It
I
doesn't make
agree
the
with-
story
It
pointless.
doesn't make the story pointless.
Like
What-
it's a cliffhanger ending, so it doesn't explain a lot. Fine, I'll give you that. But the
And what
preceding
changes?
hour and 40 minutes, everything.
Who changes?
Thomas changes. They all change.
Does he change? He discovers a part of his memory.
Well, the problem with the change is that we are seeing the first part of 3 parts, right? It's a franchise problem for sure.
So it's a weak first movie.
Well, we definitely see it. No, we see the evolution of Thomas's character from knowing nothing about himself or where he is to becoming the hero and overcoming the obstacles of the maze and the grievers and becoming
He has
the
courage, but he has courage from the first. Like the first thing we see him do is try to escape.
leader. Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I don't know that you can argue there's much of a drastic change in Sarah in Labyrinth either.
She puts away her
And
childhood.
I think that if you have an exciting and fun and engaging and like somewhat interesting hour and 40 minutes and then a shitty 15, that still makes it there's still a better story than watching 90 minutes of random walking that we
And a fart swamp.
Okay, the fart swamp notwithstanding. The fart swamp was great. But you and I both said that we essentially tuned out for the latter part of the movie. That is indicative of a bad story.
Well, I kind of did tune in a little bit again in some of the last third of Labyrinth, just because of fun visuals and stuff. But
Okay.
look, let me put it this way, just in terms of story, right? Because I was tuning into Labyrinth because there were fun visuals that I was taking in. But in terms of story, because I think, like, don't be mistaken, Sean, I don't really agree with things that you're saying as well. I think both stories are bad, like, are held back in different ways.
Sure,
And I
yes.
think what makes it a tricky one for me is that Labyrinth, at least, is like a big fuck you to story, and it's just like, fuck story, shit happens, look at this thing, look
Right.
at this stuff, isn't this neat? And if you watch it like that, whereas Labyrinth is trying to be like,
Maze
the
Runner?
intrigue is building,
Yeah.
here comes the information, it's going to reveal something, watch it's like that's like a big part of what it's trying to do.
Yeah, but if you're saying fuck you to story and you don't replace it with something else that is as good as a good story, for 90 minutes, that doesn't make it a better story. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're saying that like what makes it a better story is that it's saying fuck you to story, not attempting to tell a good story, that means it's not a stronger story. Whether or not Maze Runner isn't self-aware enough to know that what it's doing is too heavy-handed or taking itself too seriously, it still has stronger story points.
I assume you're a Maze Runner vote.
Absolutely, I
right.
am.
Yeah, Dan, I do agree with you on a lot of this stuff, but I think it still comes down to I think it's still going to be Labyrinth for me.
All right.
Production, I'll tell you right now, I'm voting Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
what was
sorry,
saying.
no, I meant Maze Runner.
Oh, okay.
What?
Production, sorry, I mixed them. No, yeah.
Daniel's like, did you eat your fucking crazy pills this
Yeah,
morning?
what is happening? Sometimes I feel like you just go with whatever you feel like most people wouldn't go with.
No,
I feel
that's
like
not
I
what
feel
I'm
like just the
saying.
natural contrarian in you just like tries to choose the thing that's gonna stir the pot. a little bit.
Sometimes
Can I
maybe.
guess why? I think you love all the visual effects in Labyrinth. It's a very well thought out, meticulously crafted
Mm-hmm.
world that is brought down ultimately by its soundscape. Is my guess.
I mean, those are the general strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
I just think it's my usual thing of like, what did things do to elevate the movie? Like, that's usually how I try and judge things. And as much as the things in Labyrinth were fun, they did not make me really more invested in the movie. I could have watched them all piecemeal and been like, that's a neat thing. But it's not. Whereas
a good
the
piecemeal
things that
film.
they did make and craft for the Maze Runner were the things that made that movie actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Despite its failings of script and storytelling.
Sure.
So for me, it's Maze Runner. I actually think that movie looks good.
Dan?
There's that scene of the weird green screen shit that we were talking, or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's brutal, and a lot
Yeah.
of the movies like that. It's just
Yeah.
I don't know. Like
No, I think that I agree with you actually. I mean the soundscape is terrible. It is borderline unforgivable.
Fart Swamp aside,
Yeah, the fart swamp deserves its own.
it's a small masterpiece.
It's an honorable mention. The fart swamp.
Are you going to Maze Runner?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. It is cleaner, and yeah, like the visuals are cool. The practical effects and puppeteering are exceptional, but not enough to sustain a 2-hour-long movie.
And
It's
just to what purpose? It's that thing of like, you can do something that's really great, but what purpose is it doing?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just to be neat. The Escher sequence,
Yeah.
neat,
Super
But
neat.
I was also like
That
not giving
doesn't-
a shit.
It's cause yeah.
Do you know?
Because by that point, you've checked out of the story because it's a bad story.
yeah, it is a bad
We're
story.
past that, Daniel.
I was
I
saying,
know,
it was,
but we
you're
shouldn't
looking
be
at me.
because
Past
it
it.
should be 2 for
Daniel,
Maze
we're
Runner right
past
now.
it.
Anyways, I never thought I'd be sitting on a couch defending the merits of Maze Runner, but
And
here
here
we
you
are.
are.
It's well executed. It saves the movie
It
a
is.
lot.
It
It's
is.
the thing that carries it.
Like I said, it is surprisingly a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Especially because I watched, the sci-fi version of this movie, Divergent, or parts of it recently with Marisa, and it's
Does the Divergent people run through a maze?
no,
Does
it's
the
just
Divergent-
like a teen version of like an adult
an
story.
adventure.
Oh, you're
thing.
thinking of the Mockingjay movies.
You mean the Hunger Games?
Yeah,
Also that.
yeah.
I've only seen the first Hunger Games. Anyways, I agree. I think that if you're going to make a movie that is basically entirely about your practical effects, then they should build as the movie goes. They should get increasingly more impressive and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And Labyrinth did not do that. There was a handful of effects that I thought were really cool, like the hand tunnel. That's actually kind of the only one that really and like
The fart swamp.
The fart swamp was amazing for other reasons. It wasn't visually impressive.
It wins the side category.
Except
Yeah.
having a swampy butthole as like a central part of your story.
That like you hold a camera on
As it, like,
and,
quivers?
let
It's a
that
butt.
sphincter you built fart a wet
Yeah,
fart
yeah.
out
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, that's
They did
pretty. That's pretty great.
It just what did it execute is the thing that for me makes it like cool, but like
Yeah, it's fair.
that I in terms of movie making I'm
Yeah.
I find it forgettable as well.
And it goes way into the negative for the Ross DeForest and for the just overall soundtrack.
Yeah.
And let me put it this way too. In comparison to Neverending Story, last episode, where like very similar vibes of a lot of practical crafting going into it, but those things did such different work for me of like creating specific feelings combined with things like sound design in that movie, you know, like the whole sequence with the oracles and seeing them from afar, like the music changes so much, like the whole air feels different. The design of practical effects and like the puppetry and what meaning they were supposed to have, the rock monster and his bike and his friends, like they all felt so specific and like parts of this world and
Lived
story
in, yeah.
and lived in.
Technically, they were more sophisticated as
Some
well.
of them were worse. Like the wolf in Neverending Story is
The wolf
bad.
was really bad. The wolf was really bad.
You know what I mean? Where generally almost everything is executed very well, craft wise in this and Labyrinth, but it just doesn't.
Yes.
It just doesn't build this feeling of wonder that I know they want to do. But I'm kind of left going like, all right,
Yeah.
I like Ludo.
Ludo's great. And the other ones. All the companions.
Yeah.
What are you going for?
Oh, mine's
Sean?
Labyrinth.
Yours is Labyrinth.
100%. Maze Runner bored me most of the time.
Did it really?
Yeah, like there were those great chase sequences that I've already spoken about. Those are great. They were really well paced and really well directed moments. And gray walls are nice. And
See, because I'm a fan of movies like Cube, I like this kind of movie where it's like
don't know what
we've
the
been
fuck
transported here
Cube
and we don't
is.
remember. I kind
it's
of
like
dig that.
Saw meets Maze Runner.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, and Canadian. Pretty cool.
Oh, so
It is like Saw meets
Yeah.
Maze Runner. That is what that movie is. That's fucking hilarious. That's fuck. Damn. That's exactly. We got to get that movie on. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's carry on then.
Cool.
Acting. Sean, why don't you start this one, huh? Smarty pants.
Acting. This is tough.
It is tough.
This is really tough. Because Bowie and Jennifer Connelly are rough.
Yes, they are.
All the puppets are really great and wonderful, and I love what all the actors are doing.
Are all the puppets really great?
Like, yeah, obviously I'm ignoring that whole poorly done racist forest melange.
Call it what
But
it is, Sean.
But I'm sure what did I call it before?
wasn't quite racist. It wasn't
Yeah.
specific enough to clearly
Yeah.
indicate
True.
anything.
It's that Lucasfilm racism that is just like
Yeah.
it's there.
You're like Misowana. Are you doing a thing?
Are you okay?
It's not. I can't quite tell, but
closed
carry
to
on.
blast doors. Come on. Maze Runner had no one terrible. There was no like straight out terrible acting. There was bad acting that, as you said, served the scene and served what they were trying to do, but it wasn't good acting. And then there was a lot of like people who did things that were believable enough to propel the scene forward. I think on Labyrinth, just on for the puppeteers
Like
and the
puppeteers.
Yeah.
Man,
No. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying what. I'm not decided. So, Dan, what are your
Oh,
thoughts?
for me, it's obviously Maze Runner. I think if your two leads are bad, and
That's
your
not
leads
good.
in another movie are at worst
are there.
mediocre,
Yeah.
then that's the deciding factor right there. There are, I mean, Hoggle. Hoggle's great, but
Ludo.
like not enough to win the whole category.
But even all the like little guys they meet along the way are
they're
fun moments.
they're fun, but
Yeah.
never once was I like, oh, that voice actor is doing a superb job. That fucking
No, well, I can say there were times where I was watching like puppets around the extraneous the like frame of the screen, and I was just seeing them fully inhabit a world together as puppets, and like how obviously a lot of all the puppeteering artists there work together a lot. And they've been working together for years and years
Yeah.
at that point, so they have this familiarity with each other where they can be whatever puppet that they're mastering together with their other puppeteers really flawlessly and effortlessly, and it's really beautiful to see.
But puppeteering is not acting. Puppeteering,
Okay,
no, it's not. Puppeteering is a different thing.
It's a tricky. I know you mean.
It is a
it's a mix.
performance art, but it
Yeah.
is a technical skill. It is not. a puppeteer is not an actor. The voice actor
but
is
it
an
does,
actor.
It does result in a performance. But
Yes,
but I know what you
sure.
mean. I know what you mean, though. It's not like.
But is a person
Sign-
who builds a CGI character an actor?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of falls into that thing as well. Like, would you give Woody from
Right.
Toy Story say he was a better actor?
Well, yeah, no, because it's not being live captured on screen. It's being like edited.
But it is still, you are still giving credit as an actor to the person who is manipulating the fake character,
Sure.
be it digital or.
Yeah, but it's part of the performance, right? It's part of the live performance in the moment.
It is part of the final artistic piece, yes, but I wouldn't classify it as an acting performance. The acting, I believe, comes from the person voicing the character, which is different than the puppeteer. The puppeteer is You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying- you know what I'm trying to say.
look, and it's not to diminish their work.
No, of course not.
'cause,
Of course not, but it's just
to
not what
be
we're talking
clear,
about.
If any puppeteers are listening, we love
Oh,
you.
we lost the
We lost
puppeteer demographic.
Damn it! Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not at all saying that they are not that
They're
puppeteering is not-
performers.
they are absolutely performers. They have a very
And
specialized
artists.
skill that is incredibly difficult. None of that is. I'm not saying anything to take away from that. What I'm saying is that if we're talking about acting, they are not the people that we are discussing in this category. Puppeteers. We're talking about the people who
I would give them credit in the production category.
sure,
You know
absolutely,
what I mean?
absolutely, 1,000%.
That's. I also know what you were saying though, that they are performances still, and the voice.
It's their
performances,
nuance.
like-
It's the nuances that they're giving to these models, these maquettes, that is conveying emotion and driving some things home.
because there were puppet performances that were better than some of the human performances in
Yes,
Maze
there
Runner.
were.
You
Yes,
know,
there
like
were.
things I enjoyed were like dude with bird for hat.
Yep, he was fun.
Pointless, totally fucking
totally
pointless, and that
pointless.
annoys me. But arguably better than some of the kids there in the Maze Runner, as well as the 4 dogs, 2 of which are upside down behind shields, doing the pointless mystery doors.
Oh, they were fun.
They were fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like good voices, good like quick different change of puppet work. So like those sequences, it was like, oh, that was a really embodied performance more than some of these people.
Yep.
But
Also, the puppet work on the door knockers,
Oh yeah.
I thought was really cool.
really good.
I couldn't tell. Were they still puppets?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I hear you because the fluidity of their jaw and
I
their,
wondered
and their
if it
mouth.
was
I think
CGI.
I think it was like a hand in for the mouth.
In
And
like
then,
a weird silicone or
yeah,
something.
and then independent.
yeah.
eyes
People
as
are
well.
running the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you, Sean, but I gotta say Maze Runner.
Okay.
I think as young, let's just say, as the performances can be,
Green.
bit green.
Greeny.
Bit green, people are acting their way through the movie, and just in particular, despite the great efforts of puppeteers and voice actors, are 2
Really dancing
human
on clouds here.
actors that we mainly follow. Made me want to punch myself in the face most of the time. So I think it was too much
fair.
negativity on their part. If they were decent, I probably would agree with you enough, but I think I gotta say Maze Runner.
Yeah.
what
If
if
even like one of them had been able to pull off their role, it would have been a completely different movie.
If it and here's the thing.
I don't think that's true. I think that
If
there's
David Bowie
If
was
David
out
Bowie
there
was-
nailing this role,
Yeah.
like knocking it out
like
of the park, as
charisma
McDonald
at the
King.
wazoo.
But there
it would have been something
is
special.
It would have been something better than what we saw. But I don't think it would have changed the movie that much. There isn't enough for that character to do to shift the movie in any dramatic
His
way.
scenes always come across at times when your attention is starting to flag, and if his scenes had been fun enough that you bought back into the adventure, I think it would have changed the outcome of that movie completely.
I don't know. I think the adventure was not nearly adventurous enough. I think that the sequence of events that she goes through is the main shortcoming. So without
You wanted
the-
more.
I wanted more adventure.
More grievers.
Something that puts her life in danger or makes it feel like there's any stakes.
She almost fell off that 5-foot ledge with Muggle there or whatever, Hoggle.
She jumped
Hogarth.
off to save the kid, and then it turned out that was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So shut up.
Sorry.
But I will say, I think the actors, even though sometimes they can be a bit green, to say the least, in Maze Runner, they do elevate the work.
Yeah.
And they commit to it, and they execute it pretty well together. And I feel like they live in the same world, and just things that I do
They
enjoy
do.
seeing.
They definitely all live in the same world. Yeah.
So that required work and effort. So anyway, I think it's Maze Runner.
Well, it's tight. It's over.
close.
but
It's a close
tight.
one.
Yeah.
It's.
It shouldn't be, but it is.
So yeah, if I'm reading your chart over there correctly,
It's 2-1.
The Citizen Kane of the week is.
And we can help you. Just put down the gun. I belong to the maze.
The Maze Runner. Congrats to the schlock for winning this race. Go, schlocky schlock. Come on, Sean, take it
You
away.
did it. Hey. That's not really Bowie. That's more hey.
Do your Bowie, Sean.
Yeah.
That's my share.
Oh, yeah.
That's my share.
That's your Cher.
Yeah.
Your Cher's like, hey, everyone.
Have you listened to Cher recently?
Recently.
Yeah.
Is she alive?
Oh yeah.
She's still making music, isn't she?
Sure.
She's not. That's impossible.
I gotta ask, does that really help you? The Notebook?
Sometimes.
Does it like serve any kind of real purpose, or is it just like a twitch you have?
A twitch?
Like a compulsion? Some sort of.
Twitch is the wrong word, but is it just like is it more just like a habit, like a comfort
I like to write
thing?
down things that pop up through the thing. I also have a terrible memory, so
I mean in the scoring process of this podcast. Do you find that like midway through you forget what the score is?
no. Midway through scoring it?
Yeah.
Not with 3 categories, but
Yeah,
5
it's-
categories. I
Five
used to.
categories was tough.
Yeah.
Too many. We dumb. Okay, so Citizen Kane, let's versus this movie,
Right.
Labyrinth, and I feel like
We kind of said it a bit.
we kind of said it a
we've
bit.
touched on
so
a lot
let's
of like the main shortcomings of the film.
So lay it
how-
out.
How do
So-
we solve it? Okay. Well, the
so
main
Dan.
problems are story and soundtrack and acting.
Story. Okay. So story is solved. Story is solved by giving her a clearer character arc need than we were given. If we're gonna stick with, she needs to put her imagination and her childhood behind her a little bit in order to advance. We need a little more about her backstory. We need a little bit more about her in real life, so that we can buy into that. We can see in the real world where this habit of hers to keep going back to her imagination is interfering with her day-to-day life.
yeah, the bookends are too small.
Yeah. And then,
For sure.
and even at the, I'm fine with it ending where it ended if we are given more at
Sure.
the beginning to show that there are problems in her life and they are caused by her not being able to let go of her childhood, probably caused by her parents having a horrible divorce and then his dad remarrying and having a kid with some other woman. You can infer that, but it's not really clear.
Yeah. So what we should do is take basically the first act of the never-ending story,
Yes.
put it at the top of this movie.
We should make the never-ending story.
Yeah.
It should certainly take a bit of inspiration. Like, you know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like,
Because that's
if it ain't
exactly what that
broke.
movie does, right?
Yep.
Is it shows this kid who has to use
He's
books
at a
as
different stage
escapism.
of his childhood.
Sure.
He's
yeah.
being told to get rid of it, but he needs to keep it.
Well, and she seems more like she's just a bit of a brat who's like jealous of her baby brother and needs to escape
she's
that
poorly
way.
written. It was written by a man. It was written by a middle-aged man, so he
Right.
was writing a teenage girl.
Right. Well, she's ungrateful,
Yeah.
for one.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 2, that's it. Learn your lesson. Have a hard time. Learn the value of hard work.
Yeah.
I also want more danger. I want her to
stakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
I agree.
face more difficulty.
Stakes.
Like a low point. Like that thing
Yeah.
where we watched Atreyu.
Yeah.
right, get all muddy, gunked up in the swamp of despair. You know what I mean? And he's
Loses
sad.
his
and
best
his horse
friend.
dies. Like
has to
it's-
fight a wolf.
It's rough. It's
Yeah.
bad, and you're like, that's bad.
Having a bad time.
She's like always a bit like miffed at worst. She's like,
Well, the biggest thing, the biggest danger she faces is getting smelly.
correct. Which they ignore the rules to
forever.
forever.
Yeah, which they ignore the rules to.
Yeah.
Which she yeah. So, I think that's the big issue story wise. It just needs to be
Some stakes.
some stakes.
Better first act.
It can have
Yep.
it can have its randomness thing. Those moments are fun and charming. Like the walls that talk and want to get their moment to finally say their line. That's funny. But like it needs to be in a greater story that you can. And I know it's like a labyrinth, and they're trying to be like, oh, it's
Anything could be in here.
anything's in here, and the things forward leads backwards, and backwards leads forwards. Like I feel that they're trying to do that, but it feels more like it's an excuse for them to get away with not writing a trajectory. Do you know what I mean? Like
There also needs there needs to be some kind of separation for her between the real life and her fantasy world. Like when she dips into fantasy world in this movie, there is zero acknowledgement of the fact that she is now in a fantasy world. You know what I mean by that?
It happens abruptly. I think it's acknowledged pretty quickly.
No,
she's very like blasé.
there
about
is
it.
Oh, her
there is
acknowledgement.
zero
Gotcha.
reaction on her part,
Yeah.
which makes me think
To
that
summoning the goblins and their king.
what's that?
Zero reaction to summoning an entire mystical realm
Well, and then
into being.
yeah, exactly. So, and I think that maybe if we establish early on that she has, trouble, for her the lines of reality and hallucination are a little blurred.
You're really worried for the children of America, aren't you?
You know what, man? I am. Not of America, of the world.
The
Okay, so
world.
here's a question.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to recast of that era, let's imagine the movie's being made now.
Oh,
Who do you cast in those two
Jennifer
main parts?
Connelly. No, Jennifer Connelly's the
Or-
mom.
Jennifer Connelly is the mom.
It could be, or it can be of recent years. Like you could say, like a young Evan Rachel Wood or something like that.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
Evan
Like,
Rachel Wood.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
I feel like it would actually probably be what's her name? The girl from Kick Ass. The little
yeah.
blonde girl who she's like 20 something now, but they
Chloe
used
Grace Moritz or whatever.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
They used her
Oh, yeah.
for all those kid
good.
parts for a while.
Or the one that played Sabrina. In Sabrina, the new Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, and was in Mad Men. I forget her
Oh,
name.
I don't know
I'm
this
not sure
person.
I know who that is either.
The
What about,
listeners know.
what about the pop star? If you were gonna cast a pop star,
Ooh.
to
Harry Styles.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's who it would be.
It is who it would be.
That's for
As the
sure.
Goblin King? I
Yeah,
mean,
1,000%.
I don't
He's still
know
a bit
about
young,
that.
but I think he could do it. Maybe
I
kind of
would
agree.
I
Yeah.
would do away with the musical element altogether.
Yeah, but that's how you're selling tickets, you know? The producers come to you and they're like, we need a movie with a pop star as a Goblin King.
I say if we
I think I disagree.
Be
with
like
that.
Lord.
if we get rid of the pop star thing and instead we put Taika Waititi
Nah.
as the Goblin
Boring.
King. Okay.
That would make it. He'd make it a full kids movie, like a full like silly, quirky.
Right.
movie.
Okay, that's
I think
fair.
there's something. I don't know. I actually think there are moments. Like it's not that there was music; it's that they just misused it.
Okay,
Like,
well
the
then
fact that
make it
when,
a
like,
full
they're-
musical. Make it a full musical movie.
Not quite full musical either, but just like
Make the music count.
make the music count. Like the fact that there wasn't music when the Goblin King appeared is dumb.
Yeah. There
The
needs to
fact
be a
that there
full
wasn't-
like rock opera number when the Goblin King arrives.
Yes, the fact that there wasn't synth going dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 underneath like the owl at the thing, and
Yeah.
then he came in like you heard his voice first. Like that's a stupid choice. I don't know how you didn't do
Welcome
that.
to my realm, my dear. It's time to meet
She's like,
your
where am I?
liege."
What
And
the
he's like, and she's like,
Yeah.
what have you done? And he's like, show you the way to my world.
to Goblin Town.
You know what I mean? And she's like, like it just should have been like in a way that's silly too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I think you can do that. I think someone like I don't know, someone like Harry Styles could do that. I think that.
Well, he couldn't. I don't know if Harry Styles could do that. I think that if we're casting of that era, a Tim Curry could have done that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you swap him over from Legend and actually give him something to put his teeth into. Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah!
Something to
He'd
do.
be a fucking dope ass Goblin
I
King.
think he'd be much better at making him seem like he cared about things. He
It would
always
be.
cares.
It would be
Ooh,
Billy
Tim
Joe
Curry would be good.
Armstrong.
What?
It would be Billy Joe Armstrong in like
Billy Joe Armstrong?
Billy Joe Armstrong,
I don't
isn't
know
that
who
the
that
Green
is.
Day guy?
I don't know. Is that his name?
I think so.
I think it is, but no. What?
That'd be kind of
What are you
funny.
talking about?
I think
That's
I think,
actually
yeah.
not bad.
Yep. I think it would be pretty funny.
it would be funny, but it wouldn't. Yeah, sure.
You know what? Okay, here's a weird. I think I don't even know if I know this guy's name, but what's his name? Adam Lampert or something? Is that his
Levine?
name?
From American Idol.
Yeah,
Yeah, Adam Lambert. Lambert.
Lambert.
I don't know.
One of those two. Yeah.
I actually think he would crush it
Okay.
because he has a voice like Freddie Mercury.
He does. He's got a killer voice.
He
but
is an actor. Like he does perform. He did Broadway. Like he started off doing like Wicked and stuff first.
Okay,
before
but-
he did-
okay.
Like he is a performer,
Yes, but
and he has that quirky like high energy thing. He could maybe do it.
Yeah, but then I think we're venturing into like musical territory. If we're casting a person who does musicals, it's because it's a musical. I don't know how well he'd actually do in the acting portions of the film.
I can get Lady Gaga to do it.
I mean, yeah.
Yo, that's actually not
That's
a bad
actually
call.
pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Fucking, we're stuck on guys. Get Lady
Yeah.
Gaga to do
Lady
it.
Gaga.
Yeah. I said
as-
Lord earlier, but Lady Gaga's
Oh,
better.
yeah. Lady Gaga, I think, would be
As the
actually a really
Goblin
fun
Queen.
as the Goblin Queen.
Yeah.
Queen. And then do we swap
Whatever.
sexes on the kid?
Who cares?
No, who cares?
I don't know what kid you. I don't know like teenage actors right now. I don't know. What
No.
kid.
I guess it'd have to be a teenager.
You
wouldn't
get
it?
Matt Finlan, our buddy, our guy. from
That teenager.
he plays teenagers right now.
It would be Jesse Eisenberg.
Just can you imagine? It's like teenage Michael Cera, and Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
That you know what? That actually sounds pretty good.
Dope film.
That's
That
pretty,
sounds
that's
pretty
fun.
fucking good.
I think Lady Gaga is the seller. I
Yeah.
think she
Yeah,
would
and
make
she'd
because she
make
would
so
perform
much
the
money for the movie.
fuck out of it.
1,000%.
And she would produce the shit out of the songs. She does not half do things.
Yep.
So I think
And
she
she's
would
like a
crush
legitimate
it.
actor as well.
Yeah, she's proven
Yeah.
that she can really do a thing.
Lady Gaga.
What about Jason Derulo?
Jason Derulo. Oh God.
I like that you almost committed to that and then you got shy.
Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
It's Bo Burnham as the teenager. And
Bo
he's-
Burnham was the
Ooh,
Goblin King,
ooh,
but actually
but-
pretty
but-
good too.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But
he's just like hunched over a keyboard.
but it could be. Did you guys see 8th Grade?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Her? Oh, she'd be great. She's such
Oh,
a
yeah.
she has a really unique quality to her.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Her and Lady Gaga.
and Lady
That's
Gaga.
a sick movie.
Yeah.
And then you make it like you make the puff out the beginning part. You make sure everything you do with the puppets generally has a purpose.
Bo Burnham is directing.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Bo Burnham's
Oh,
directing the movie.
shit.
Still all practical effects. Still all puppets.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You commit to the
that's-
You
practical.
sold me. Get the Henson group
Get,
back.
That's a
get Lady
fucking
Gaga's
movie.
costuming person to like continue
Yeah.
doing their thing.
Yep.
I think that would actually be really good.
We made a
I'd
movie.
watch the fuck out of that.
Hollywood,
I think we could
await your
legit
phone
repitch
call.
this right now. I think if we find the right people,
Yeah.
Yeah. Bo, if you're listening, I know you are. He's not listening.
No.
he might be.
I don't know. I feel like he doesn't have access to any kind of media.
All right, well, great. Those are our solutions. I think actually that sounds like a really sweet movie.
It does. I
That's
think
a
that's
dope
the
film.
best one we've done so far.
Yeah.
That's a pretty
That's
good.
legitimately good.
The recasting, that's solid. That's solid. That's good. Okay, and so then let's just get out of here by telling you our movies for next week. A little Christmas treat of non-Christmas movies.
We're finally getting some comic book movies on the pod. It's our first time, right?
Finally.
Is it?
I don't
It
know.
might be.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, we did Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 3.
What did we compare to? Oh, we did it with
Evil Dead.
It was Sam
2.
Raimi, right?
Or, Evil Dead 2 versus
Right.
Spider-Man 3.
Oh, and have we done any Batman?
No.
So Spider-Man's the only one.
Spider-Man.
Okay, so this is the first comic book week, though. Christmas comic books, although no Christmas.
No Christmas
in
involved.
The movie.
So Dan, these were your picks. So tell
yeah,
us about it.
yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped. I've been inexplicably obsessed with the Black Adam movie over the past couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know why I'm so fascinated by it. I think part of it is I'm intrigued to see The Rock in a superhero role. I think part of it is also I'm eager to see a movie of his fail catastrophically, which it sounds like it is.
Great.
So I thought that it would be an interesting pairing to do what is a pretty storied rivalry in comic book lore and do the original Superman starring Christopher Reeves
Sick.
versus the new Black Adam, which is still in theaters as of the recording of this podcast.
Great. That was super succinct. Thank you.
Was it wordy? Did I ramble on a
It
little
was
bit?
fine.
No. You got there.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to carry on, and then you brought it home real tight.
I can go on if you want. I
Tell us when
remember the first time I
first-
saw The Rock on television
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's a bigger part of why this is happening, too. I think it has to do with your...
with my obsession with professional wrestling.
and
There-
your
there is-
attraction specifically to Dwayne The Rock.
Remember that
wink,
terrible
wink,
Fire
Johnson,
Tower
wink,
movie?
wink.
Fire
Skyscraper?
Tower?
We watched Skyscraper.
Oh yeah, he's been on the pod just the once,
No, Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and
twice. What did we put Hobbs and Shaw against?
Thelma and
Shaw.
Louise.
Oh, Louise.
Great pairing.
Oh right.
It's a great pairing.
Good pairing.
There is absolutely a nostalgia factor for me with The Rock because he is the most electrifying man in all of entertainment, going all the way back to his pro wrestling days.
That's not true.
No, that was his persona in pro wrestling.
Right.
He was the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, which really helped him get a foothold on the Hollywood thing.
Hey, Scorpion King.
Which I rewatched like a week ago.
No, you didn't.
I did. Yeah,
That's such a podcast movie.
You'll watch it again.
But I'll watch it again.
And you'll
It was
love it.
I was house sitting cat sitting for our neighbor, and I had to just hang out with the cat for a little bit. So I put on a really bad movie, and it was
Nice.
Scorpion King. It was
The cat like it?
The cat loved it.
Great.
Yeah.
What the cat have to say? Does the cat want to come on the pod?
I didn't ask her, but I can.
Okay,
We should
cool.
start a podcast about cats and call it
Dog cast.
Scorpion King.
Pug cats. Scorpion cats.
Scorpion King.
Cats.
All right, let's call it there. Everyone do your best Bowie singing as we leave.
And I will see you.
And
when we go to the place,
don't forget to bring your
I'm together again. That's Michael Jordan.
Podcast.